I am so glad you are here. This is Liz here at Magus Books and Herbs. And of course, this is our Big Wednesday show. It is alive. And I've got some cool stuff to show you, and some cool stuff is happening. So let's get to the happenings. What is going on? So this Sunday, the 21st of September, 2025, in case it's 10 years from now, you can get your Reiki 1 under your belt, which is fantastic. We go through Reiki basics. We do the attunements. We do a little bit of practice work. It's a whole lot of fun. And you really get to open yourself up to the energies of the universe using Reiki. I'd recommend it as a great class. Also, the same afternoon, later in the afternoon, is a by donation class being taught by our own Ravenwolf on chaos magic. So if you are interested in magic that just works with what you've got around you and how your mind works personally, chaos magic is something you should really check out. Totally recommend it. I believe his class is at 3:30, but check magusbooks.com for the details. On Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 27th, Adam's wonderful class on astrology. That's another by donation class, so come check that out. Sunday the 28th, we have the Reiki share, and we have Chris's amazing class on palmistry. He's got 4 different classes. You can take them in any order. They're all profoundly fascinating, and he loves palmistry. He will not be able to resist showing you things on your own hand. You've always got the tools you need to learn palmistry right there with you, and he's so excited to share. Of course, going into next month, the first Sunday of the month will be October 5th, and we'll have our Gateways to the Gods class. I've already had people asking about it, so sign up, let me know that you're coming, and we'll do something like Sinaquichi or talk about Red Lotus or something. We'll do something fun. It's always a good class. There's some real hard information that you get, folklore, chemistry, things like that. And then there's also a guided meditation so you can meet that herb. It's just a lovely way to spend the first part of your afternoon. And then I'm here for the rest of the day for anybody who has questions. Now I'm going into October for this announcement. Friday, the 10th. Mark your calendars. Emrys Abner, local guy makes good. He is coming in to celebrate the opening of his book, or the release of his book. Really excited for him. We have worked with Emrys for quite a while because he is the gentleman who makes these things. This is the 5th pentacle of the sun. I'm trying to get it so it's not glaring at you. And he's thorough and detailed enough that he gets the activator for it right on the back. That's unusual. Most people who do these kinds of pentacles and other medallions really only do the front normally, but this one has the activator on the back, and I love that. He's also got, oh, and by the way, that one goes for $33, as do most of his medallions. Now, this one is one of the few that only has stuff on the front, and it's a slightly more complex piece. So it is a $50 7 archangels seal. So if you want the 7 archangels at your back, and your front, and on your sides, this is a great way to start those relationships up. And he's got a couple of more complex medallions like that one that he offers, but that is not all. No, he does not stop there. Look at this. Look at this baby. And look, by the way, not just at this carving where you have the Hebrew in there for the magical working, but in tiny carving, look at this. He's got the script worked in for you. His whole goal with these altar plates and the pendulum boards and everything else he makes with these nice wooden boards is to make ceremonial magic and other practices accessible, easy to get started with. And this board definitely does that. He's got a whole bunch of other ones. They're gorgeous. These are hand colored. He does this himself. They're just delightful. So I recommend coming in on Friday the 10th. He's also a musician, so we might even get a little fun music going. And I don't know how late I'm staying that night. So we'll see. If we keep the party going, I'll probably hang out with people after we're supposed to be closed. No worries. I'm doing that about once a week right now anyway. So you never know. We might be open till 7 at least. Of course, the next day, Saturday, the 11th of October, we're going to start a runes class. with our rune reader. He's been very successful especially for a rune reader, actually. He's done a really nice job here, and he's taught runes before. So he's going to open up his rune class on Saturday the 11th. That's going to be a by donation class. You're going to work with the runes. You're going to get to know them. It's really going to be a delightful experience. And instead of chaos magic in October, Ravenwolf will be offering a class on Cyprian the Mage. So if you're interested in more ceremonial magic, which is what chaos sprung off of in many ways, Cyprian the Mage is the class for you next month. And then, of course, astrology will be Saturday, the 25th of October. I'm going to skip forward to one more event, though, and that is on November 15th, which is a Saturday. We're going to do a trunk show of Jerry's Imports. I'm talking scarves, bracelets, barrettes, hats, mittens, fantastic mittens, by the way, bags of all sizes, coin purses to big old travel bags, you name it, it's going to be there. I have gotten gifts for friends from Jerry's Imports. I have gotten gifts for little nieces of mine. Hi out there, Beanie. And they've been beloved. People have just loved the stuff. There's so many styles in every category that it's just amazing to shop with all this stuff. And in our new space, we just don't have enough room to really show off all of her things. So we're going to open up this room, our classroom and gallery, for a one-day trunk show so you can peruse everything and get the coolest stuff. Did you like those scarves with the silver woven into them? They'll be there. Did you prefer the glittery scarves with the long tassels? They will be there. Did you need a woven bag? It'll be there. A lot of her pieces come either from the southern end of North America, often called Central America, which I think is a way of dividing it from us, and I dislike that, or from Southeast Asia. So be on the lookout for announcements for that. We've got a poster up here at the shop, but we'll be trying to spread the word. So that's what's coming. What are we wearing today? Normally, I wear for you some things that we have in the shop beyond my own wedding rings and engagement ring, and I'm not doing that today. I'm not showing off any jewelry today. This is actually a piece that is now mine. Thank you, Odin. There was a wake for a local community member here in the Twin Cities who was known as Odin last Monday. And the founder of our shop, Roger, and I went to that memorial. Odin had worked for the shop as a part-time gig in addition to his own job. Really lovely gentleman, prolific gamer, and all around, he's just a sweet, fun guy. And I was very touched when his ex-wife went around just with a bag of rings and said, everybody just close your eyes and grab one and fate will give you the right memorial for him. And this one's perfect for me. I love it because it's a flexible ring, which means it fits multiple fingers. So it's a very cool little ring. But more importantly, it's going to remind me of Odin every time I see it. And that's why it's a real treasure for me personally. My fondest story of Odin, just to let you guys know, was he was and I'm an herbalist, and I'm an herbalist who loves teas. I was mostly mentored by someone who is a tincture user, but I love tea. And the reasons I love tea are many, but among them are tea. If it's a medicinal tea, the way it tastes will change as you go through your healing process. And I think that's an important clue for when it's time to come back to the herbalist and get an ingredient removed, add the next level or next stage of ingredients to the tea so you can continue your healing journey. And I love that about tea. Well, he came in and groused that he hates tea. It's just weak soup. It's weak broth and it's awful and it never tastes good. And he likes coffee. So I said, really? What if I can make you a tea that you like? And he went, you can't. No way. There's no way. So I went over and I grabbed 3 herbs, just 3, and brewed him something up that, now, some of these roots were they were all roots. They were quite dark in some cases. They gave a very coffee-like flavor to what he was drinking. He loved it, and he felt better for it. So it was a win-win. And I will love that forever. It was so cute of him. So yeah, this is my memoriam to Odin, local community member, and all-around nice guy. Just a sweetheart. Meanwhile, what have we got in store for you? Okay, I've already showed you Emrys's plates and his pentacles. His like fifth pentacle of the sun was the one I brought in here. He's got a ton here. Come check them out when you can. I wanted to show the very last of Nicole's mushroom pouches. Sad to say, they're almost a thing of the past. So if you loved them and wanted one and didn't grab one, I think this one is adorable. It looks orange to me on the screen, but in person, it's red. Just so you know, it's red with these lovely green and orange and pink speckles. Actually, the speckles in the yarn show up better on camera because of the orange color that it takes on in this lighting than it does in person. Thank you, Nicole, for your wonderful work there. And we'll be settling up with her soon. Now, I promised you guys that there was some Buddhist stuff coming in, and I'm going to show you a few things, just a few of the things that came in. This one is, look at the detail on this beauty. This is Tara. And if you look at all of the exquisite beauty on her, that's why she is a whopper of a statue at 8 inches, $400. But worth every penny. She's just gorgeous. And I have to tell you, I know one of the Buddha statues that came in with this lot is already sold. It's sitting here. It's going to get picked up on Thursday, but it's gone. It's a big 1950s piece, which I love. Came from a company that in the 1950s did a ton of statues, many of which look like kitsch today. But this one is just classically a Buddha, and it's gorgeous. Look at this one is big. So not as much detail as the Tara. So it's a little less money, even though it's a bigger statue at $350. We've also got a Buddha, again, with less detail, the same size as the Tara for $115. So come get your Buddha on. And it's not just the statues that came in, also things used in worship came in. So I wanted to show you this set is the thing I brought in today. It is usually used for rice. So this first piece, the big one, this is solid and has a solid bottom, and you would fill this with rice normally. Other small grains, I'm sure you could do it with millet. And when this is full, the rice in the full bowl acts as the bottom for the next ring. And then you fill that with rice, and that acts as a bottom for the next ring down in size. And then when you fill that one with rice, that acts as the bottom for this ring. So you have a nice little pyramid, a little stack, and then it's topped with this. It makes it for a beautiful presentation and offering. So this is a gorgeous way to express your reverence for those deities. So what other cool things do I have for you guys today? I have this beautiful chakra set. So the stones are each associated with a chakra, and as you can just barely make out, the symbol for the chakras are under the stones. They're going to go from the first chakra to the seventh. And this is a selenite recharging plate. So this is something you can put the stones on and then recharge and cleanse them. So they don't just pop out. I can't dig them out with my fingers, but I did grab a butter knife, and yeah, they just pop out. You just need something with more leverage than my fingernails to get them out. If you've got really tough nails, you might be able to do it that way. But it's a beautiful little set that comes with a little lid that still allows the energy of the stones to sort of emanate out because it's not a solid lid. It's a beautiful piece in that way. And the other piece I brought back here, I've got a couple more things for you guys. I wanted to just let you guys know about Chris's work. I know we've seen some of these before, but I don't know if you've seen this one. So Chris reclaims wooden boxes, often from charity shops and garage sales and estate sales, and then decorates them and cleans them up, refinishes them, gets them in better shape. So she reclaims these boxes and then turns them into works of art. And then we get to bring them to you folks. Another piece that we got in from another lovely person who is downsizing is a whole collection of blank books. Unused, loved, almost everyone is unique and different. There's only one of these, for example. Some of them are like that one, white paper, lined, unlined. Some of them are brightly colored paper. have brightly colored paper. Some of them have black paper. But there's all kinds of blank books for all kinds of folks. I just brought back a few of the small ones. There are bigger ones, including some full-sizers. Isn't that fun? And this one, we've got 3 with the style of soft felt. So it's got that nice textural element to it that these other ones don't really have. They're just the smooth thing you'd expect. Tons of new stuff coming in. I know we're getting a book order today, which means I'm going to prep a book order today and get that in, and that'll be exciting. Really loving everyone who's coming in. I cannot thank you folks enough for stopping by and saying hi to all of us. I don't have for you guys a guest today. So really, it's about talking about what's been happening. So with being touched somewhat personally by the death of Odin and the schools and the other assassination that occurred, we have been going through it. There's been a lot happening around us, around the country. Trump's reception in Great Britain has been fun at times. It's an interesting process that they're going through over there. But as we are starting to approach autumn, autumn equinox will be here next week. And after that, All Hallows Eve, Halloween, Samhain, Samhain, depending on how you're saying it these days. It is that time when we start to embrace our own mortality, the mortality in the cycle of the planet, and we reflect on those who have passed and gone before us. I know for myself, autumn equinox will bring in that era where we think about my husband and where my son and I probably have a few conversations about what was wonderful about him, what we miss, and how we're doing with it all. We'll probably also talk about my father, who passed the same year as my husband, and what we loved about my dad, what we miss about him, and how we're doing with it. And I would encourage everybody to embrace those experiences. Something that makes you feel uncomfortable isn't a bad thing necessarily. It can be a part of your healing process. It can be a way of your mind, your body, saying to you, hey, slow down, take a moment, let's figure this piece out. And it can happen because you're detoxing and things come up that you thought you tucked away into the back of your mind. I have a client now who we're trying to slow down a detox process on because it's just too much. It's just too fast. Very gentle, forward motion for her and for the rest of us. We don't need to run our head into our grief. That doesn't help. That just gives us a headache. We need to deal with these tougher things calmly, patiently, slowly, understanding that our pace might not be the pace other people move at. Some people will be slower than us and will need to be patient. Some people will be quicker than us and they will need to be patient. And you can be slow in one area and recovering from these hardships and tragedies, and quick in another area. Maybe because of the latest school shootings, and there's been another one since the one here in Minnesota already, at least one, maybe you are quick to call your congressman, your senator, your governor, to send an email to the White House. What are we doing about this? You've had plenty of time to think about it. We appreciate the thoughts and prayers, we do. But now that you've thought about it, what are you going to do about it? The thinking doesn't really matter if it's not followed up with action. So what are we doing about the issue? So maybe you're quick at that part, but you're not ready to see what happened. You're not ready to hear from the parents who are in mourning. for their tragic, tragic losses. And that's okay. You can be quick in one area of recovery and take your time in another area. And again, that's not going to match anybody else's recovery because you're you, you're not them. And you need to give yourself and those other people permission to recover at their own rates. Doesn't mean that you should be walked on, doesn't mean you shouldn't demand respect. When someone says to you, this thing was a tragedy, why aren't you more empathetic? If you have reasons, share them. Be honest. But respect the fact that it's a tragedy at the same time. At least that's my advice for today. Like I said, no guest today, so just a short rant from me is all we're doing. I hope this finds you folks well. And I hope we see you in the shop here in Minneapolis at Magus Books or online at our online shop at magusbooks.com. In the meantime, I want to thank you all for being your magical selves. I know you're working hard to make the world a better place for yourself and others every day. And I appreciate that so much. And of course, we love it when you do the magical things you can do here. The likes, subscribes, shares, all the things. You know them. They're easy. They're free. And we'll see you again soon, I hope, on behalf of myself and the whole crew at Magus Books and Herbs in Minneapolis and online at magusbooks.com. Thank you and blessed be.